0, 1. Let's get started.
Hello and welcome back, pro traders. In today's episode, I'm going to be making sense of a stock that you picked and you want me to use my professional strategy on. And that's going to be none other than AMD, all right? So with that being said, let me get my face out of the way here and let's take a look at this asset. Now, oddly enough, I have everything left off from when I talked about this a long time ago. As you can see, it actually ended up prevailing exactly how we were expecting. So big congratulations to anyone that was here from the beginning. But the most important thing is, how can this make me money now? Okay. Now, when looking at this overall move, I think it's important to kind of just see what we have here, right? We had a relatively big move that progressed up and then we pulled back. Okay. Now, odds on favor is what we were looking for it to retest this prior high and then potentially actually rotate back down, making a standpoint for a potential range, okay, as we rotate back up in the future. Now, we didn't get that, which leads me to believe, obviously, this is the path number 2, which is the fact that we actually bullishly break out. Now, in this situation, I think it's pretty clear that this is a cascading effect in which we're going up higher. So this kind of narrows it down for me to being basically 2 possible scenarios. So let's get rid of everything after I just kind of explain things. The 2 scenarios are going to be this, okay? We have a prevailing bigger move that's looking to pull back. We have levels that are pivots that are going to be here. Let me just clone this so it goes a little faster. There, roughly there, and let's just say roughly here, right there. Okay, so these are going to be levels we want to look to buy. So as it stands right now, we've either already bottomed, which you would expect to see a deeper pullback, which is going to be the first variation, and it's going to be something like this, in which we can get a little bit steeper pullback so people can actually buy, because the rotation back to the upside would leave a lot more profit, okay? Now, it can come down deeper, obviously, which is why that level of support is underneath, so you all can just understand the depth that we're looking for. Now, the real key is just finding the proper entry point as we kind of cascade underneath some of these prior levels of support. But make no mistake, the major objective right now, because of such a big move, is to essentially retest this prior high that's back there at 242.66, okay? Now, alternatively, if this does end up rotating back up first, which it may end up doing, I think it's a little bit more appropriate now to view this in terms of a potential range than a continuation, okay? It's either going to happen to 1 to 2 variations. Either we're going to get right back up to this high at 242 and some change, and then we're going to break back down. Okay, that break back down should actually not be too deep. We're probably going to go back and retest this prior low here at 224.60, okay? Now, once we get back to this level right there, we are going to be looking for a couple different things, okay? Because technically at this point, we are forming a range, okay? Now, this range is holding up pretty tight, with this being approximately the midpoint. And with that being approximately the midpoint, we can use a couple deviations above and below to figure out the support and resistance, okay? So now that we have the kind of figure out the counterparts, we have that being the resistance, and now we have some levels of support clearly defined underneath, we can start to figure out exactly how we can move around this range, okay? Which is why it's kind of structured, as you can clearly see. And in this particular situation, we would expect it to rotate back to the upside once we rotate back down, okay? So if this does turn out to be some sort of range in the formation of happening, this is how you should tackle it as it kind of rotates from the upside to the downside. Now, this only is in particularly relevant to the fact that we go to the upside first and we don't actually just push back down, highlighted here in yellow, okay? Now, if we end up scooting up and going higher, then we need to tackle this a bit differently, okay? And in that, we need to see this as, you know, it's a potential continuation, yeah, but we may end up looking at this as all one pattern here, okay? Now, I say that in the fact that we still have this big move. We've pushed up, we've pushed up, we've pushed up. So, you know, I'd still kind of put it in the realm of it being possible that we're either going to still have that 3-legged pullback here and then retest the high, or the fact that we push up and it consolidates again and we form that actual range, okay? So for right now, unless we make a higher high, I'll have to come back to this just to see what is forming. But for right now, I think we have a pretty good game plan to figure out how to make some money. Either we're going to pull back pretty deeply unbeknownst to itself, finding a buying opportunity underneath the lows, or like I said before, we're going to push up and then rotate back down, creating some sort of range in the formation of happening here, okay? A little more likely at this point, I guess, for us to pop up and push down just based on the aftermarket, but who knows what can happen, okay? Just be aware of what prints on the cash market is more important than what you see post-market or pre-market, all right? So hopefully this video has helped you all out in navigating AMD, because it should. You should be able to make some money with this game plan. And if you want to see me trade this exact same system on the S&P 500 every single morning, then come on back to the channel, 9:30 a.m. You'll see me live trading, and hopefully I'll be able to change your perspective on how you can make some money in the stock markets, okay? So again, everyone, thank you for giving me some of your time, and I'll catch you all on the next candle.
I know it's hard to trust so-called gurus. That's why I live stream my trades every single day, Monday through Friday, starting at 9:30 a.m. The live stream isn't for you to copy my trades, it's to show proof and credibility that my strategy works. The stream is delayed and muted to protect my edge. But if you want to see everything unmuted and in real time, check out the Discord and Patreon links below. You'll get exclusive perks and the opportunity to learn the system for yourself, so you don't miss great opportunities just like this one.
All right, everyone, so this is going to be one of the trades of the week, and ultimately you can see that we have entered in just above this swing high. Now, the general principle of this is that the lines above represent different levels of a range, and we're essentially looking to rotate now back up through that range. Now, using a volatility-based stop loss, that basically dictates the stop loss and first target based on the day's volatility, so it's a little bit different every single day, has determined where our stop loss is as well as our first target. Now, using some other methods, that's how we got the above levels. And at this point, because we've already have everything kind of situated, we just need to sit back and wait and let time play itself out. Now, just be aware that there usually is a bit of turbulence, and this is a great example of that. And again, once everything is kind of set in stone, our main job is to let things run its course, okay? So as I just progress in the time lapse here a bit, you can see that we did end up pushing up after that major pullback. And with a little bit of help, as you can see, we soon ended up getting our first target. Now, at this particular point, we kind of just let price action do its thing, not reaching the midpoint of this range, which is our secondary target for right now, okay? But as you can see, after we did get that second target, I let price action just kind of progress on its own for a bit. But once we start getting too high, I do adjust my stop loss accordingly, okay? Now, in this particular situation, you will start to see me adjust the stop loss based on the fact that we are relatively close to the third target, and we don't want to give away too much of our gains, okay? So with our, I don't know if it's that big of a deal to tell you all, but we do use a particular system in trailing our stops, in which you will learn as a member of the Discord/Patreon, okay? This is just one of many great examples that you'll be able to have every single week as a member. So if you don't want to miss trades just like this, then look down below.